for this contest. And at 33, Brazil's Burns is 2 years more senior than Iceland's Nelson. At 5'11", Nelson's an inch taller, and he'll have a 1-inch reach advantage. With the octagon introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 16 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, USA, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Gilbert Burns. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 17 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Reykjavik, Iceland, Gunnar And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Neil Hall.
Neil Hall is a referee for this contest. Gilbert Burns, he's come here wanting to grapple. He faces off against Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson is a ADCC champion, or was, sorry, in the past. Gilbert Burns, 4-time world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He wears the green, Nelson in the black. So now, interestingly, in the walk-in pool, you were saying that you never thought about this contest. Burns told me he's been thinking about this contest for years. He's always wanted to have a crack at Gunnar Nelson.
Well, that's just a jiu-jitsu competitor in Burns. He sees somebody that's getting all the credit for having such submission skills and ground control. He just wants to see what he's going to be up against that guy. You know, that's the competitor in him.
The beauty about Gunnar Nelson's style, and the reason it's more beautiful in MMA than anything else, is because every single piece of his game needs everything else in his game as well. It's not like he's just a striker, he's just a wrestler, he's just got jiu-jitsu. His striking complements his takedowns, which complement his jiu-jitsu. Everything's a whole package, which is why he constantly follows that path through. The snap right, the snap left, like that traditional karate styling, stuns his opponent for a second, allows him to get the takedown and start to work to a good position before they've cleared their head. That's what I'm expecting from Gunnar here. He's looked like he's posturing with that right hand. Looks like he's going to try and slide it straight through the guard, straight down the center, and sting Gilbert Burns on the nose so he can then start his process.
So as we see the karate stylist versus Gilbert Burns' Dutch kickboxing style, which has been infused into his game under the tutelage of Henry Hooft. And they were telling me how Burns is deadly in the gym, just in the kickboxing practice.
Well, we've got some red marks on the legs of Gunnar Nelson already, on the inside thigh and on the outside calf, so that kickboxing practice is definitely paying off. And Gunnar puts so much weight on that lead leg as well. You can see how much his body weight's forward.
That allows him that blitz, right, Dan?
That's exactly it. Plus, it also gives his opponent the impression that he's closer than he is. So then when they start moving forward, he can drop back and come back to counter.
Burns told me that they found a few errors in his fight with Kunchenko, which I must underline was a fantastic victory.
And another short notice as well.
On short notice against an undefeated fighter.
Yes, 18-0.
And, you know, they fixed those errors. One of them was the leg kicks. So it's looking like he's trying to inflict some damage the other way this time out.
Is that straight right, left hook?
It's almost the same style that Gunnar uses that we saw Alex Oliveira trying to use earlier tonight, too. That sitting back with that wide stance, counter right.
Nelson looks to sting you with those shots, and then he'll select the big ones, which he'll follow up with, as Dan was explaining. Get that takedown, drag it down to the mat, work to the back, submit you.
See, the problem with these two is we want to see a grappling match, right? Everybody kind of wants to see who can be more dominant on the mat, but neither one of these guys wants to be there on the bottom position. They both want to be in top position, so it's going to really come down to who can time the takedown, who can knock somebody down.
And they are top game.
Yeah, nobody's going to pull guard.
In their respective jiu-jitsu styles. I asked Burns if he felt that he was, like, what the difference was, and he said he felt he was a more aggressive jiu-jitsu fighter than what Nelson was. Nelson's a very controlling fighter. But you could tell his mouth was watering at the opportunity of those exchanges.
I think Gilbert's far more reactive to what he has in front of him. I think he deals with what's presented to him, whereas Gunnar, he knows the game plan that he brings to the table, and that's what he wants to stick to all the time. The thing is, when you're so good at something, it's difficult to stop that process, but the halting in the process of Gunnar Nelson, we would expect is as soon as it hits the floor.
Ooh.
Counter-striking from Gilbert Burns coming up the centre with the uppercut as well. Very evenly matched, these two. Gunnar's shifted his gaze to the midsection of Gilbert Burns.
Here we go, at least we're clinched up here.
I think I may have said earlier that Nelson was an ADCC champion. I don't think that's correct. I know he got some IBJJF credentials, world champion, gi and no gi.
You're fired.
About 2000, about 10 years ago, however.
Oh!
Got the takedown.
Now, watch Gunnar will not settle in Gilbert Burns' guard. He doesn't want to be dealing with guard passing at this stage.
Oh,
Burns going for an ankle lock, but he's only controlling the leg with his arm. He doesn't have a leg through.
Last 10 seconds. What can Nelson do from here?
Relax, breathe. Hey, Tommy, put your hand here for the eyes. Hey, you need to pressure him. He doesn't like to strike with you at all. No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to chair. Hey, you understand? He is hurt there, so start upstairs. Don't mind to follow up with the body kick too. But as soon as you hurt him and he's close to the cage, keep firing your hands. He doesn't understand. He don't want anything. Listen, work a little bit more down with your up and downs. Set that right hand up. Keep kicking calf guard, and then you see set up that right hook. Calf guard, boom.
Calf kick,
Calf kick, and a boom right hook. Breathe. Okay, here we go.
Catch the all-new UFC Live each and every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, only on ESPN2. The weekly 30-minute show gets you primed for all the Saturday night action, as well as the latest news and information from around the sport. UFC Live Fridays on ESPN2.
There was a knowing smile and nod from both fighters when they walked to the centre of the octagon for the second round.
And we've been listening to the Viking chants, which is echoing around the Royal Arena.
Makes me want to drink a beer in here right now, to be honest with you. Join these guys. Start going crazy.
Do you think that there was any kind of psychological impact on the fact that Burns ended up on the bottom with Gunnar Nelson bearing over him at the end of that round?
I don't think so, no, because, I mean, as a jiu-jitsu player, you don't necessarily feel like you're in a bad position if you're on your back.
Sure.
Especially for Gilbert, who can throw up arm bars like crazy.
Exactly.
But we are not in a jiu-jitsu match.
True.
No.
He only took one clean shot that I remember, and he was able to feel the movement of Gunnar Nelson. So now he knows the familiar side that Gunnar wants to pass to, where he's going to put his legs when he's basing. There are certain reads that a competitor, a high-level competitor like Gilbert Burns would have got from that exchange.
Good kick there from Gunnar.
Nelson was talking about how he finally has a kind of a striking coach, an actual boxing coach who's putting everything together for him rather than just teammates that were holding pads and giving advice, and that has helped his development in that area.
And that is huge. For somebody who's been through some stuff, and I've seen other fighters where they think hitting pads is just an exercise as opposed to really using that as an opportunity to almost spar and or game plan. That's what your striking coach is for. A lot of times boxing coaches will also have a coach and somebody that's the pad holder, and the coach will actually watch the pad work and coach you through it. So to have that is big, and you can see Gunnar landing some nice combos here in this second round as well to get into that, close that distance and get in the clinch here with Gilbert.
Still maintaining that karate stance, however.
But
Well,
putting combos, throwing uppercuts and things like
That's
that.
exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, he's still maintaining the same stance, but once he's closed that distance, he's going 3-4 punches instead of that just one snap and a body lock.
I like the way he's not overextending with the shots as well. They're very sharp.
He's a consummate martial artist. I mean, he doesn't overextend anything. We referred to him a long time ago as the Prius of MMA. You know, he's so efficient. He doesn't waste any energy, so he's not going to throw wild shots that may miss and may throw him off balance.
I might have called him the Tesla of MMA because I was a little more
that
kind.
was it, Tesla.
You can go with a Prius.
Oh! Big right hand there from Burns. And that's exactly what Henry Hooft was calling for. He said calf kick, right hook, and that's the exact combo that Gilbert just landed. That's what he wanted in the corner.
Well, the damage on that calf of Gunnar Nelson.
Oh, it's horrible. I wish we could go back and just stop these calf kicks, man. They suck.
Just stop the first person that throws them so no one ever learns that technique.
Yeah, just put it. It's like Terminator. We're going to have to go back in time and take that person out.
Yeah.
I'll do it, Dan. I'm ready. You ready to go with me?
I'm down, dude.
Let's do it.
We just got to watch out for Time Cop. You know he's looking
God,
for
he's out there too, isn't he?
So Gunnar Nelson, I expected to be stronger against the fence here. He's got such a good way of spreading his base, such a wide back and strong posterior chain.
And do we also look into the fact that Burns was a former lightweight as well? Or because we know that Gunnar's always been quite light in the division, there might not be so many advantages?
It wouldn't surprise me if they're about the same weight right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good balance by Gilbert Burns.
Work by Burns.
Little back elbow from Burns as well.
Nice knee to the ass cheek.
Oh, hip toss by Burns.
He's on
going for the neck. He's got nice job, scrambled.
Oh, and a jumping knee from Burns.
Well, these guys are way more than just grapplers, as we can see.
Clamps onto a neck. Head and an arm, could be setting up an anaconda here. Oh, he rolls through. Look at Gunnar Nelson, spreads his base wide so he doesn't get rolled, but that's still tight. He's going to attempt to roll again. Gilbert Burns needs to tuck his head deep under the side of Gunnar Nelson to force that roll over the top.
And they're getting sweaty in there too. That's something
Burns
to take
is really
into
squeezing
consideration.
here. You can see his fingertips are falling off of his bicep a little bit.
So sweaty, it's hot in here, right? If we're hot, imagine how these guys are feeling right now. You can see the perspiration. I mean, it's warm. And things like that, like you said, you barely have the grip. If he was dry first round, he might be able to squeeze more. But he's definitely stolen the round with this ending and position right here.
We'll be back in Copenhagen in 30 seconds.
Just breathe. 60 seconds recovery. That's great work. You know how to recover in between rounds. In round one, you had some great jabs. Go back to that for these last 5 minutes. He's a lot flatter on his feet. Move, move, move. Boom! Ping that jab. Again, southpaw. He's flat-footed. Your side kick is beautiful.
Welcome back to Copenhagen. Paul, take us through some of that action from the last round.
Yeah, well, let's take a look here. There was some awesome action here in that round, but I think we're going to take a look at this beautiful judo throw by Gilbert Burns. Actually throws Gunnar on his head. Look at that flying right knee. That was clean. Look at this beautiful knee.
Wow.
Forces Gunnar to go for a shot. Gilbert all over it, locks up a choke, tries the gator roll through, cannot get it because of the perspiration, but ends up on top. I think it's 1-1 right now going into the third. Winner takes all right now.
Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of the UFC. As you said, round number 3.
I want to see these two guys as training partners because I think they're going to get on really well. Can you imagine?
I think they would.
They're having a real
these
good
guys
time
are easy guys to get.
Very easy.
I love both these guys, to be completely honest.
As much as I love the matchup, I don't really want to see either of these guys get beaten up too much.
Let's call this one a draw.
Yeah, right.
But pay them both. Show them we got to pay them both, okay? He's not paying attention.
That was a strong second round from Gilbert Burns, though.
Yes. Landed the strikes, hurt him, and was going for submission attempts.
And the takedown and the flying knee. You know, I mean, And as a fighter, I would always rather have a strong second round than a strong first.
Yeah, because then you're carrying that confidence into the third and final round.
Yep.
So they both tried attacks. They've ended up in the grips of one another. Nelson had a good grip, double unders from the back, but Burns did a really good job of reversing, and now Nelson was hinting at the single leg, now a collar tie. Very evenly matched in all ranges.
That elbow is there.
Oh.
And it's here, I think, when we were speaking to Gunnar Nelson, he was talking about how he wasn't making the decisions fast enough. He wasn't moving quick enough against
right
Leon
there.
Edwards. And they've been working on that. Not waiting for the reaction all the time, not always being the counter fighter.
Oh, he felt that judo attempt possibly there again.
Yeah, that hip throw was beautiful.
Oh, he's in tight. Beautiful job from Burns. Spreading his base.
Gonna sliding down to the ankle to try and pull that out, but Burns' foot is chopped
that's
right
gonna
up
be-
against the fence.
It's going to be tough to do against somebody as talented as Gilbert Burns.
Nice uppercuts.
Yeah, beautiful work. Little dirty boxing.
Oh.
Oh, elbow too on the break.
Gilbert Burns, he's going to creep into this welterweight division rankings
I think so,
very
man.
quickly, isn't he?
I think his frame is perfect for this. You know, he's not destroying himself to make the weight. He looks healthy.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold it looking, he doesn't look overly heavy. He doesn't look too, you know, like he's carrying some extra weight. Just looks good.
And have we seen him have a full training camp for a welterweight fight before?
Not yet.
Oh,
no.
well, he went back to welterweight, didn't he? So we'd have to really rewind our
Yeah.
memories.
Yeah.
But that doesn't count. That's the previous career. I'm talking about this moment right now where
Right.
he's at in the welterweight division.
Yeah, the last two, no.
But he's had two short notice fights against two of the, arguably the toughest guys in the division that's to offer. I mean, Gunnar Nelson and Alexei Kunchenko, they're not fights you want to take on short notice. Especially, Kunchenko being undefeated as well.
Oh, nice slapping right hand from Nelson as he closed the distance.
It's just to close the distance, though. There's no damage to Gilbert on that
Yeah,
one.
didn't hurt him at all.
It's the sting. They're stinging shots.
That kick, however,
That's a stinging
definitely
shot.
just affected Gunnar. He tries to give his own back, but that was more shin.
Gunnar keeps glancing down at the legs of Gilbert Burns. I'm not sure whether he's using that as a...
Ooh.
Well, maybe it's because he wants to see if they are coming or
Yeah,
that
maybe.
calf kick.
And this is a tight round right here.
Want to shout out Gilbert Burns for his activity as a teammate as well. Everywhere I've been around the world recently, Gilbert Burns has been there cornering and coaching. Very much a team player. But I think that side of things has added to his game as well.
It's something he actually mentioned. That's one of the reasons why he's been able to take these short notice fights.
He's always training, right?
He was helping Robbie Lawler prepare for his last one. So he was thankful to Robbie Lawler for making him get into the gym.
That'll
and
get you in
spar.
shape.
Yeah, right. Running away from that guy, for sure.
Bent out of shape.
Shoulder bumps. 45 seconds to go.
Yeah,
I would
this-
not like to be scoring this.
Yeah, if something big happens here at the end of the fight like this,
Oh, big slam.
that could be it.
That was a big takedown as well.
Gilbert Burns Airways.
He made a point of that.
And if he
looking to take
takes
the
the
back.
back,
Oh, can he get hooks in though? Not on Gunnar Nelson. Beautiful
Good
scrambling.
scramble.
but Gunny's got to do something here if he wants to win this round.
20 seconds left.
Depends on, I have no idea.
It's tense in both corners. They're going ballistic in the blue and red corners right now. Burns forcing Nelson up against the fence at the moment. And that is the end of this thrilling contest here in Copenhagen. It does go to the judges' scorecards. We will get the official decision when we come back. next Saturday night from Melbourne, Australia, the UFC 243 prelims get the evening going on ESPN2. In a featured bout, born and raised in Melbourne, Jake Matthews, he wants to put on a show for his home fans against Swedish striker Rostem Akman. The UFC 243 prelims on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. Time now to get this inside. Bruce has a decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Gilbert Burns.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Gilbert Burns. So, a short notice fight against another tough guy in this division. Are you staying at welterweight now? You're beating these top guys?
Woo! What's up there, Mark? I love you guys. I love the energy. I don't care if you're booing. I don't care. I come here to win, to put in work on the welterweight division. I came here to stay.
So what were your thoughts on Gunnar Nelson coming into this? You said this was a fight that you wanted. You wanted to test yourself against him. Do you feel like you were tested?
I felt great only on 2 weeks. He's a very high-level guy. I was able to hit a flying knee, a couple takedowns, but it was hard to advance the position. He's very long. I think, guys, he's such a high level. You guys got a nice guy. He's such a high-level guy with a great jiu-jitsu. I'm so happy to be here. A little shout-out. It was my mom's birthday tomorrow, my dad's birthday. Mãe, te amo, parabéns. Pai, parabéns. Todo mundo, Isabela, Thiago, todo mundo, tamo junto.
I've got one more question for you. So you're staying at welterweight now. You've had 2 guys that have been very good in this division. You've beaten both of them on short notice. How do you look at a full training camp at welterweight?
With a full training camp, I want Neil Magny December 14. Let's go! Woo!
That's a big call out. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Gilbert Burns.
Call out for Gilbert Burns on a 4-fight win streak now. 2 big wins for that man. There he is with Henry Hooft.